special shout out to our sponsor of this week's Russ Reels Live, the Boulder Falls Inn of Lebanon, Oregon. For more information on the Boulder Falls Inn and their amazing conference facility, call 541-451-1000 today. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Russ Reels Live. My voice is cracking up. Oh, no. All right. Listen, it is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast here in Salem, Oregon. And I am so glad that you're all here. No matter what time it is where you are, I am blessed to have you as part of the show today on Russ Reels Live. It is every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have amazing guests. So each week, we have a topic and we have an amazing panel, which again, today is like none other. We have an amazing panel and we're going to be talking about priorities versus overwhelm. What does that mean exactly? Well, we'll get into that here in a second, but you have choices in life. That's what it all boils down to, right? So we're going to talk about that. Our panel is going to weigh in and give you all their wisdom and the value that they have for you today. So get excited. Start sharing this out right now because I'm telling you, this is going to be a great one. Everybody watching right now, hit the share button. Share. Even if you're watching on replay, you can still share. You can still let people know, hey, this is amazing. Look who's on. So share the show. Get it out there. Let people know. And we are so glad to have you here today. I want to also remind you that, of course, if have been watching me for any length of time at all, I love to connect, right? I mean, really connect. So everybody on the show today knows, I always kid people, once we're connected, you're stuck with me. I'm your lifetime friend because I am a long-term, lifelong connector because that's really what connection is all about. It's not a, hey, how's it going? Good. All right. Have a good life. It is a true connection. That is how we build amazing community. And this is a true testament. This online live streaming is a true testament to community, to connection, to people building and making each other better. We rise together, we lift each other up, we help each other, and we all become better. And the people that I have on today are just amazing at that. And we're going to talk about this wonderful topic today. But first, there's still something else. What is it? Well, I talked about us being here at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Thursday. Don't forget that we have occasional Russ Reels Live that pop up on Off Times 2 specials. And my other shows, not going to go into that today, but I want to remind you that I'm the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. You get to choose your life, right? Not what happens to you, because I understand that life happens and then you choose. Then you choose where you're going with that. And this book is a way to encourage you and help you. It's available at russhedge.com on my website. It's also available on Amazon and all online booksellers, if I can get that out. Woo! All right. So I want to make sure you knew that. And also, I just want to remind you all today that you can subscribe on YouTube and get all the amazing content you've missed over the last few years. So D. Scott Smith and I just finished 100 episodes of the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. My 300th episode is coming up on Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. And I lost track of how many Russ Reels Live we have done. So there is tons of content for you to consume. You can binge it. Who needs Netflix? Just go to YouTube and binge my my live streams. Okay, russreels.live. That's how you get there. I know. Shut up, Russ. Move on. russreels.live. That's how you get to my YouTube page. Hit the connect button, the subscribe button, and you will have all of that content plus notices to upcoming content. All right. I've definitely talked too much now. I think I've been around Nupi already too long, and it's only been a few minutes today. Okay, so we are going to do ladies first, as we always do. And today, first in the house is going to be Fihmiya, because she is an amazing new friend. She's ready. She's rolling. Here she is. Hello, Fihmiya.
Hi, Russ. How are you?
I'm good. A little too much for you today. I know. I'm a little too much for me too. Anyway, I am so glad to have you here. And I want you to let everybody know who is Fihmiya and what are you up to?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say, Russ, thank you so much for having us. And to everyone watching and listening, we've been waiting to come out, but Russ has us stuck out in the green room. So it's a pleasure to be here, Russ. So to everyone that doesn't know me, I'm Fihmiya. I was a former educator for over 10 years, and I decided to take a leap of faith and transition over into my new love, which is community. So I am a community manager for Career Crafters, which is a space for people who are looking to pivot out of their careers and looking for something else. And I am also the community manager for Belongly, which is a space for mental health professionals. So super excited to be in two different ones and two things that, are near and dear to me, Russ, because I was a pivoter and community is also something that speaks to me as well.
That's amazing. Well, you know what? This is not the last time you'll be on, trust me. So I appreciate you very much. And somebody near and dear to all of our hearts, the Glitta practitioner is chomping at the bit. She wants in, but I'm sitting there looking at her in the green room thinking, do I really let her in? Because I am the honorary brother, so I don't know.
The glitter.
I'm literally doing this.
I was
so
hoping
Nupi.
glitter would fly out.
Yes.
But
Good evening. Good afternoon, Russ. See,
Hello,
I'm
hello.
unflappable now.
You never had that honorary brother, so God has given me that gift to be your honorary
That's
brother.
very
So,
true. This is
well,
true.
Nupi,
Hi, Russ.
listen,
How
I think
wonderful to
hardly
see
anybody
you.
doesn't know you. Tell everybody who you are. You take it.
Thank you. So I am I'm Dr. Nupi, the glitter practitioner. I'm a doctor, I'm a GP, family physician in the UK, and I'm also a spiritual and transformation life coach. And my specialty is sprinkling glitter in people's lives. And if you want to know more, just follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me here on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and you'll see all about what this magical glitter is.
There you go.
There you go.
That's amazing. And you always say that. Connect with me here on LinkedIn, but remember, we're also streaming live to Facebook and to YouTube. So it's going multiple directions. And the person that knows that and is all over it, Mr. Aaron Gibson, is in the house.
Yes.
Woo-hoo! Come on, Aaron. Bring her home.
How's it going? What's happening?
I think I need a better entrance.
You can work on that. Well, for me, the longer you're on the show, especially if Nupi's on it with you, you'll get better and better at that. So, Aaron, man, so great to see you, bud. I appreciate you. What a great friend you are. I feel like we've been friends. I feel like we went to school together back when we were like in second grade. You're just an amazing guy. You are. I mean that. You're the kind of guy that I feel like I've known forever, because you just speak from the heart, and love you, man. I appreciate you so much. So take it away. Tell everybody who you really are.
Well, my name's Aaron Gibson. I'm an HVAC service specialist for working on my 24th year. I'm the creator of a show on LinkedIn, which is called Just Off the Cuff HVAC, and co-creator with my dear Dr. Nupi of Reach Out Religion, which is a group started to help inspire others to reach out and realize that there's no shame in reaching out, and that there is support here and there's people to listen.
Well, and I love that. I've been both the giver and the recipient of amazing support. And so, supporting each other, people don't realize how important it is until you really need it. And today, when we're talking about priorities and what you're choosing to do in your life, as opposed to overwhelm and burnout, which is the option, the other alternative, that support and lifting each other up is so important. We're going to talk more about that. We are. But before we do that, going to bring in our surprise guest. She is so excited.
Who is it?
Can we guess?
I think
okay,
it's
go
Ross.
ahead. Guess. Who's our surprise guest?
Bagsy. I think it's
somebody we all know. Russ, do I know this person?
I don't know. I don't know if you all know her. It's a her though.
Okay, hold on.
She.
Right.
Okay.
Hold on.
No,
let me tune in.
Took too long. Ready? Da, 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 da. Cindy Cohn is in the house.
And she texted me saying, "What time? You?"
Yes.
So sneaky. I knew it was going to be on Fihmiya.
And I brought Dr. Nupi
Oh,
Cindy.
Cindy. I thought it was going to be you. I should have said
I was
your
like,
name.
Cindy's texting me. I'm like, cool, she's gonna be there.
Ditto.
But look at this one. Queen of
Well,
Joy.
Hi.
everyone.
she is the queen of joy, and you don't know Erin, so wave up at Erin. Erin, wave down at Cindy, or whichever way you are for you guys.
Cindy's
There you
making
go.
her
Hi, Erin.
Hello, my lady.
So-
Pleasure.
Oh boy.
Cindy, take it away. Tell everybody who you
Fihmiya,
are.
I'm nothing in comparison. Nothing.
Yes, you are.
Get your glitter out, Nupi.
Okay, you get the glitter, and let's let Cindy tell everybody who she is. Go for it, Cindy.
First, I want to thank you. I found out I was on this show 30 minutes ago, so I'm super excited to be here. So what you see is what you get.
I love that.
And, and anyhow, I am known on LinkedIn and around the world as the Queen of Joy. I have been on several newscasts, multiple podcasts. I've wrote the book on joy, more joy. This is why I don't need to drink, you see, because
She's just naturally high.
yeah. So anyway, I am super excited. I have something unfolding on February 11th at 11:11 a.m. And that is no coincidence with the number. The number 11:11 is very significant to me. I see it 1, 2, 3 times a day and have for years. So that's why I'm launching what I believe I'm called to do is spread joy to each person individually, but more so, the more you spread joy, I give you joy, then you ripple effect it to the world, the more joy we'll have worldwide. And this is just a small part of the second step where we're going to go on the More Joy Bus Tour, looking for sponsors. Okay.
Woo-hoo! All right. Well, you know what? We're all about joy here. Love what you're all about. I didn't have to talk to Cindy for more than 30 seconds, and I always was ready to invite her on the show today. And so I appreciate you being here. I really do. So we're going to dive into our topic. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
whether you're ready or not, here we go. We got 1 million people commenting. Sorry, everybody, I'm way behind. I'm trying to get them up because you have blown up the comments again.
Seriously.
I
I
just want to tell
know.
everybody,
What a
last
crowd.
week, Russ Reels Live was a record over,
Yes.
it was 575 comments.
Yes.
So come on, break that
Yeah.
today.
Wow.
I dare you.
But
I
it's
double
because I
dog
was
dare you.
Oh,
Hold on a minute,
Double
Russ.
dog
It's
dare
because
you.
I was in the comments glitter bombing as well.
it was
There you
you?
go.
It was me. I'm
There
here
you go.
now.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to start with Fihmiya. And Fihmiya, I want to have you start in on our topic. And let me just give you just a little scoop of what's in my brain. And that is, every day we get to make choices. I'm the live the life
Mhm.
you choose. Life happens and then you choose. When we're setting our priorities, when we're making those choices, we're setting ourselves up to either have a big crash because we're overdoing things or making the wrong choices, or we are setting ourselves up with time of self-care and rest and time to actually breathe, and so that we can continue and be consistent at a good pace. This is what I was thinking on this topic. And so I want you to pick that up, and you got it from here. What are you thinking about priorities over overwhelm?
Like for me to be on this live today, Russ, it could not have come at a more fitting time because my LinkedIn post today was actually talking about priorities, how I've become over the years more self-aware of burnout. I have been in few toxic work environments and burned out really quickly, which affected my mental health greatly. So I kind of was sensing the fact that I was kind of leading to burnout, and I was feeling it because I kept overfilling my plate, and I had to kind of scale back the last 2 weeks, and I had to say a lot more no's than yeses, because for me, saying no is also saying yes to my mental health. And I really had to prioritize, here are these great opportunities that I'm being offered left and right in my DMs, messages. And I'm like, man, these are so great. This is what I want. But at what cost do I continue taking these opportunities and stop and say, you know what, Fihmiya, your plate is full, spilling over. got to make a choice. Do you make that priority where you prioritize yourself, or do you overwhelm yourself with all of the yeses that you have said to? And I'm like, dang, like I need to stop. So for me, prioritizing my self-care is a must. And it was something I had to work on this week. So when your topic came around, I'm like, my gosh, Russ must know what it is I'm working on, because I need a break, you know, and I had to say no to people that I love and respect. But, you know, it started affecting my mental health. I was exhausted mentally and I wasn't sleeping right. And I just kept overthinking. And for me, prioritizing my health, my mental health takes precedence over all of these amazing opportunities. I can say yes, but yes to the ones I give value to and are going to help me with my mental health. So
yes.
Yeah. And I'm taking LinkedIn off next week.
Yeah. There you go. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I just have to insert real quickly that for anybody who's looking, Nancy was not able to be on tonight, but we just say, hi, Nancy.
Hi,
have
Nancy.
a good day's rest. We want to say hi to you, and she'll be on again. No big deal. It just didn't work out tonight, but we had Cindy to fill in and be amazing. So we're going to leapfrog over Nupi. And since Cindy is new, we're going to bring Cindy on next and say, Cindy, talk to us a little bit about this to you. I mean, making those right choices, because you're choosing joy. You're choosing things in your life. How do you keep from being overwhelmed and burnt out?
Very similar to what Nia said. I really have learned to hone in on my own body and my own mental health. And I know now when to stop and step back and take care of myself. And most of the time I do it on the weekends, but if it's during the week, it's during the week. But I am very clear about, because I'm such an encourager and a hype woman and joy spreader and everything else, if I don't fill up my own cup regularly, then I will have nothing left to give out. And that is not my mission. So I am very clear about self-care for myself, but it wasn't always this way. It took learning and being burnt out and being mentally, physically exhausted to figure out, wait, I'm going to start making better choices.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, that's excellent, because it is a matter of paying attention to the choices we're making. One thing my beautiful wife always tells me, when I tell her I have to do something, she'll look at me and she'll go, no, you're actually choosing to do that.
Yes.
Well, no, I have to do it because I have to do this. She goes, no, you're choosing to do that. And so it makes me stop and think, you're right. Everything in our life is choices. We may feel like we have to do that, but we don't. Because what I found out when I had to stop doing things because of my surgery and all that happened, there was a lot of people around me actually did what I was doing better than what I have been doing. So I didn't actually have to do those things. So I'm just going to let them take care of it from now on. So
I love
Nupi,
that. Yes,
jump on in, Nupi.
Well, so it is all, this is this is again a topic very close to my heart too. Having been through burnout 12 years ago and having come through it, a burnout warrior, it is all about that key principle that underlies all of this, is that your needs matter. End of. And that is not selfish. This is all about treating yourself, honoring your needs, just as you would somebody else's. And the conditioning from culture, from society, from your upbringing, from everything that you're handed on a plate, that you learn or you adopt for yourself from childhood, it's almost having you know, there's a reason why perfectionism starts to creep in, and unrelenting standards and fear of failure and all of these things, which then lead to the overachiever or the people pleaser, of which I'm now reformed, but it's watching those tendencies. And once you have found your own internal compass, your balance, and really constantly tweaking, being self-aware, that's the key here, then this is how you can. I'm not saying overwhelm goes away. I get overwhelmed. I'm not saying it's just going to disappear, but you are able to ride it better and understand
Right.
what your mind, your body is telling you. So
Yeah.
your needs matter is my
Well,
big thing.
and I think you said it right there, Nupi, that it's the balance.
Mhm.
It is because life is a journey, and we're
Yeah.
going to have times in our life, no matter what we do, that we're going to be overwhelmed. Things are going to
Yes.
happen. And at the moment, we're just going to be overwhelmed. We're going to be a little, yeah, I mean, it's just going to be too much. But then where you go with that determines on the foundation you've set up and what your real priorities are in your life. And if you have set up habits and systems in your life to deal with that ahead of time, plan for the unplanned, right? Plan for the
Yeah.
unplanned. Aaron, take it away from there. When you're having issues, which we all have, Aaron, you having some thought ahead of time, right? Helps that out.
Well, definitely some forethought, but I mean, when we're getting into it, I mean, it's all about that first initial moment of recognition that you are at that point of being overwhelmed. I mean, it's a battle between expectation and others' expectations. And if you don't have that ability to recognize where your own limitations are, then you're going to start to go further than you really should, and you take on too much, and then again you reach that burnout point where you're carrying so much of everything on your shoulders that you start to lose focus of yourself and lose focus of your self-care and start to basically go down that dark downward spiral. So I mean, for me it always breaks down to that moment of recognition that this is a reasonable expectation, or this is an unreasonable expectation. And if it's an unreasonable expectation, is there maybe another perspective view that you can take to maybe approach that and move forward?
Yeah. Well, and that's a really good point you bring up between reasonable and unreasonable, because I used to have this chat with my son when he was young. And he dealt with some anxiety issues, and we would talk about reasonable and unreasonable fears, right? And there are things that overwhelm you when you stop and think about it. It's really very unreasonable. That's not something you should be afraid of. But when it
Yes.
consumes you, it's hard to get over that. So,
Yes.
Fihmiya, pick that back up. I think that this is such a deep topic. I'll just let you take it from there.
Yeah, so piggybacking off of what Aaron said, when we really step back and prioritize like our needs, and for me, if I sense, because I have become very self-aware over the years, like I mentioned earlier, when I start to feel that way, I question myself. I do a lot of self-reflecting, reassessing how I feel, and I do a lot of check-ins with myself, and I ask myself, am I taking on this task to please the person who is asking me? Or is this something I want to do? And if the answer is no, then I know that I'm saying yes to myself, that it's because I wanted to do it for them and not for me. And that's where I do a lot of, Russ, the reassessing is it Fihmiya? Do you really want to do this? Or are you just saying yes because you don't want them to feel bad, or you feel guilty, and guilt was something I really, really over the years had to work on, is not feeling guilty when I say no. And I am way past that. For me, if it doesn't feel right, if I feel like it's going to burn me out, I am okay to say no, because to me, I'm the one that has to choose to set those boundaries of what people know what to cross and can't cross. And you can respectfully decline an opportunity and be nice. And if that person respects you, they're going to understand. And if they don't, well, at that point, what are you going to do, right? We can't please everyone, but we have to take care of ourselves. Honestly, we truly know what we need and we want. And I used to think it was being selfish, but I'm not. I got to take care of Fihmiya. And for me to serve you and everyone else, I've got to serve myself first, right?
Right.
I can't give you anything from an empty cup, like
Yeah.
Cindy said. I got to fill mine to serve you.
Well, we have an amazing pastor at our church who really takes a look at life, because a lot of times in church circles, for example, it's all about giving, and a lot of pastors are getting burned out right and left, right, from the work that they do, because they're not taking time. And a lot of times, we don't think about our mental health, about our overwhelm, about our, how we're just running and saying yes to everything. And I learned as I got older I'm a people pleaser, a yes person. I want everybody to be happy. I want to give to everybody and do all this stuff. And you get to the points where it's just like, you stop and you're like, okay, I'm stopping. And you don't want to be that way where you're doing some really good things, but then you stop everything because you overdid with too many good things. And so, Cindy, when you're looking at joy in your life, I don't think there could ever be too much joy, but there can definitely be too many joyful activities. And so you need to be careful about that. Go ahead.
So yeah, this is something I also write about in my book, and it's one of my primary principles, and I call it protecting your peace. And there is not only nothing wrong with it, but you should protect your peace. You should have the boundaries, like Fihmiya was saying. If you let everybody into your circle and into your life and their opinions and everything else, you're not going to be happy. You have to stop and decide, make a decision who is worthy of your time, your focus, and your energy. And for me, because I have so much of all that, I give out a lot, but then there is this line where I have to draw it, where I can't give out anymore. So yeah.
Well, everybody needs that line too, right, Nupi? I mean, people see you, Nupi, and they think you are the sparkling glitter, always positive person of life. And all of us, no matter how sparkling and glittery we are, have those moments, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly, Russ. And this is why I really do always say, look, it's understanding your needs. And this is how I teach this. This is how I coach. This is how I approach holistic care in medicine, for example, and breaking it down to your baseline human needs, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. And once you know those baseline needs, and it's not rocket science, it's really boiling down to food, fluids, fresh air, things like that for physical health. But once you are aware of that and you are owning your needs and protecting them, that is absolutely when you can learn, okay, this doesn't serve me. Am I doing this because I should? I'm feeling the pressure of the shoulds and, oh my gosh, what ifs and the buts and this. F off, focus and breathe. Bring it back to, okay, recenter self. And that is so crucial here because we're living in a world, currently, that everything is instant. I've got to respond and I've got to do this and I've got to do this. And I'm like, who says? Your story, it's you. You get to call the shots. And I think once you actually start doing that, relearning how to do this, you stand back in your power and you can do whatever the hell you want to on your terms. And that is really fundamental principles that people, you forget. I forgot. I had no idea 12 years ago. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stand here or sit here and say, yeah, I'm really good at doing this all the time. No, I'm not. I learn, I grow, I evolve, I pass it on. And it's constant tweaks.
Right.
Nobody's perfect. You're never going to be perfect.
No.
But it's treating yourself with that love and forgiving yourself and being kind to yourself goes such a long, long way. And that's the magic. That's the sparkle. That's the glitter.
Was it you and I, Nupi, the other day was talking to somebody about people shooting all over you? Yeah. Because that whole concept of people shooting all over you should do this, you should do that. Yeah. When I started live streaming, people told me all the things that I should do and that I had to do. This was the only way you can really do it. And, I learned early on, we can't live somebody else's life. We need to live our life. And yes, take good advice, have good mentors, have good people speaking into your life. I'm all about that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, Aaron, we get to make our own choices where we go from there. We should not be doing something because somebody else told us we should. We should be doing something because we feel that that's the right thing for us to be doing.
Oh, completely. I mean, oh, I had it right on the tip of my tongue. It's a shift. It's a complete shift, because when you start to do these things for yourself, when you start to take that energy that you would have spent on being burnt out, on being overwhelmed, you start to direct that towards your self-care, then you start to build that balance between your work life, your own home life, and just balance and happiness, because you're finding that contentment, and you're setting yourself to reasonable expectations, that you're going to fall off that bridge on occasion, and need that person or someone to just maybe even catch it yourself, if you're able to say, hey, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be taking on this much right at this particular moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, think it basically boils down to taking that energy. If you're feeling that overwhelmed energy, if you're able to convert it over and shift it over into your self-care, then you're going to start to achieve more of that balance of, okay, at work, I can do this, this, and this. And at home, I can do this, this, and this. And meanwhile, right dead center is you.
Yeah. That's tuning into your body. That's tuning into these emotions and using it almost as, and this is what I actually say and guide, that these negative feelings, which is the fear and the anxiety, I'm not concentrating, I'm not sleeping, for example, these all keep you in a very low, dense energy state. But it's learning to, okay, this is how I'm feeling, notice it, name it, and then use it almost like a little sort of a reminder to, okay, what's this telling me? Okay, let me check in. Have I taken ownership of my needs? Because I have a part to play in this. If I'm not sleeping on time every night, or if I'm doing X, Y, Z the whole time, I get exhausted. I can't do it. I have a part to play in that. And it's almost, these feelings come and go. It's okay. It's not you failing. It will also pass. And that's really key. It's how you learn to read your body, your mind, bringing it all together. And that is so important. Really important.
I wanted to jump in there too.
Go for it.
I wanted to jump in and say, what really all this boils down to, in my opinion, is being your authentic self and being true to yourself.
Be genuine.
Yes.
Really, at the end of the day, the foundation of what we're really discussing here is when you're true to yourself, when you're 1,000% authentic, you know yourself, you trust yourself, you're going to take care of yourself, you're going to love yourself, you're going to have the boundaries for yourself, and you probably won't be overwhelmed, to be honest. I mean, you might have times like short stints, like, oh my God, so much going on at once, and how do I prioritize? But it's different than a feeling of complete, utter exhaustion to the bone, which I felt before, so I understand. That's totally different, I think.
Yeah.
And Cindy, to what you said, it's embracing who you really are, and not based on the expectations of what we think we want others to view us as, or what we think people want us to see. And that was a mindset I was stuck in for many years, and I'll be the first one to own that. I had to really break out of it, because my perfectionism, I am still a recovering perfectionist, I will own that, but mine stems from my childhood of my parents, God bless them, where they wanted me to be this perfect child all the time. And that stemmed through my adulthood into my toxic work environments, which then amplified that. And when I got to my breaking point, I was just like, I don't even recognize who Fihmiya is anymore. She's no longer the fun, bubbly, spontaneous person. So it was a really hard reality check. And, going to what Bruce's question is, how do I deal with people who don't accept it, or believe it was resent me for it, or whatever it may be? I actually had a lot of resentment from my family members, because they were so used to me being a certain way, because again, I allowed those boundaries to be crossed. I didn't have firm boundaries in place. So when I tell you guys, it was so hard to readjust them, fix them, it was beyond hard. Was it easy? No, it took me years. I obviously went to a therapist. I read books, talking to people. And when I would explain to the members in my family, or even friends, I told them, like, this is really hurting me. I am in a rabbit hole that I can't get out of. And I need you guys to respect the new boundaries that I'm creating for my mental health. And, my family obviously understood it, but I did have to let go of friends and relationships that did not respect it. And it was tough, but in order to find me again, I had to let them go. I mean, it was either my mental health or let go of the negative pulls that I was getting from them saying, you've changed so much. I'm like, but don't you want me to change for the better? That's better for me. And I was met with a lot of hard resentment, and I had to cut them off. I had to let them go. And that's the thing I ever done. So got to set those boundaries and be really clear on what you want to be respected for.
I think it's really difficult culturally as well. I'll just throw that in, because I know that was very similar in my upbringing, and it was always, studies and this, and approval was being sought if you did well in certain topics or certain things, for example. That was success. And I see that a lot with my patients as well. And it's giving somebody that space to go, okay, it doesn't have to be like this, actually. I can balance this in and do something slightly different that is still respectful to my family and those expectations to a degree, but I am still serving myself first. And the other thing I wanted to say, coming off your comments, Mia, was people around you who aren't maybe going through those things. Everybody's unique in who you are, your essence, your possessence. And it's disconcerting for other people around to see somebody going, actually, no, because that's what it makes other people feel better, that, okay, we're all on the same level. We're all saying yes to things. And when you start branching out and standing in your power and owning your needs, you have to let go, because you've elevated yourself almost. You have to let go of something in order to bring something else new in. And that's how I kind of have navigated this last 12 years, for example, and with utmost trust, because that's exactly what I'm shown. So it's crucial.
Well, I think too, what's interesting to me, when you can, Erin, you brought this up, when you can be your real authentic self, you can really be with people. We have two best friend couples that we travel with, go on vacation with, do things. And one time, one of the couples came over to our house, and he comes in and says, "Hey, how's it going?" I said, "Great to see you." He sits down. There's like a football game on, and we both fall asleep in the chairs.
Oh.
And the ladies come in and they said, "What's wrong with you guys?" And we said,
trouble.
We're such good friends that we were both fine with just hanging and just being ourselves. The people, like a lot of us here right now, are those people that always carry the conversation, always carry the room, always set the mode, right? And so when you don't do that, then people come to say, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" Well, I'm fine, but I just don't feel like, jumping up and down today. It's just
want a break.
Yeah. And I think that's important. And Erin, I want you to comment on this, because I think sometimes in those choices, like the ladies are talking about, we have to choose ourselves and choose to give ourselves a little bit of a break. And sometimes that's better for the people around us, because it makes them step up, maybe, right?
Yeah. Taking those breaks. And I mean, that's a major reason why I push mental health breaks all the time is, we don't give ourselves enough break. You take take a look at your life. All right. You've spent at my point in the game, I'm 46 years old. You obviously are not working until about 12. So basically we're looking at about 35 years of commitment to your passion, your trade, your skill. But what time during that mountainous climb did you actually stop to, actually breathe and take a look down the mountain? Right. And figuring out along that journey up the mountain is, that Nupi just touched on it, was knowing what to own. That was probably the hardest things for me coming out of the military and dealing with PTSD, was knowing what to own. I'd see some guy doing this and another guy just standing there doing nothing. Is that even my business? But because I was, coming out of what's referred to as a well-honed machine of an organization of people to skilled trades where, one guy is going to be standing around doing absolutely bupkis and the other guy is going to be doing this. But is that for you to own? Is that for you to take? No, what your focus should be is on you, what you can own, and what you're not to own. And finding that balance is probably one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to always be a challenge too. I love this right here, what Catherine said, because I have got to the point in my life where I'm really good at this. I mean, at the end of the day, when I put my head on my pillow, I can basically say, I feel good about what I've done. I have self-respect. I know who I am. I know what I can do. Not that I have challenges like everybody else, but in general, at the end of the day, I can sleep well. I can sleep well knowing that I've made choices that are good, not only for the people around me, but good for me, right? So that I can keep, because I'm like all of you, I love to give to people and bring joy and encourage and inspire. That's me, right? But we've got to fill our cup, and we've got to take time. I love taking vacations with my beautiful wife, getting away and having time where nothing's going on. I love waking up in the morning when nobody's awake, nothing's happening. The dog lays beside me and doesn't bother me. And I do my own thing in the morning. I spend a couple hours every morning. I do devotionals, and I pray, and I walk, and I did walk when I could walk with my foot, but one of these days I'll walk again. And so but I did all these things, but I do these things for me just in a quiet time. So it's all coming down to, Aaron, like you're talking about, being good with ourselves. And I love that comment. So, Mia, let's kick it back to you here. We have time for everybody to take one more round here. So, not a big hurry, take your time, but make sure and wrap up of what you really think is important on this comment, and then let everybody know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah. So my main takeaway for everybody is honestly just reassess and do plenty of check-ins. And like what Aaron was saying, do those mental breaks. For me, I need to work on that more often. I find myself sitting on my computer for endless hours, forgetting to drink water. I know that sounds so simple, but the bottle can be in front of my face, but I have not touched it for over 2 hours. And at what cost do we allow our jobs or whatever it may be to take over and to kind of, pull our mental health down in a hole? We have to prioritize our needs and our wants, because again, we're no good to other people if we don't serve ourselves first. And, our needs matter, our wants matter, we matter, because at the end of the day, we go to bed at night. Everybody else goes to their own homes and does their own thing. But what about us? So you have to keep yourself at the forefront, and remember that you matter. Your story matters. You matter. So that's my takeaway to all of you.
Whoop, whoop.
That is true. Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
And I'm all about community, and I will say it every day, So how
do people get in touch with you so they can be in your community?
Me. Yes, I'm sorry, Russ. Yeah, I'm all over LinkedIn. I am on there because I am building out community. So LinkedIn is the place where you can all definitely find me. And I share my stories, and I try to be as transparent and as authentic as possible, and to share, the parts of me that were once ones that I closed off, but now I'm freely sharing them.
Yeah. Well, and I think that really draws people to you, Mia, because I think when we're sharing parts of us, and I found this out through this whole cancer journey, when you're, I always want to just give the good stuff, right? We all just want to live the good part of our life, right? And that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we don't want to be stuck in the doldrums of life, but when life really does happen and you need that community and all that support, that's when it comes rushing in the door, when you've been about that, when you've had taken care of yourself well enough that you can give to others and you can keep building that community, right? So Nupi, go ahead.
So I'm always about, owning your needs, protecting your needs matter. And I'm going to say something different, because for me, as mentioned this, I want to just turn the attention a little bit on people who perhaps are feeling overwhelmed, who are at that stage of everything's just getting too much. And I would say, go back 5 steps, take notice of what your body is telling you, the butterflies in your stomach, the dry mouth, for example, not being able to focus or concentrate. Take notice of it and take a step back and tune into your breathing, because that's something you can do in there right now. breathing is so crucial to keep the overwhelm at bay, actually. And if you can do that, it keeps your logical mind in respond mode as opposed to reactive mode. It buys you time. You can bend time like that. And if you are struggling with that, you're not alone. Please reach out, use your community, use your connections, because there's always somebody perhaps who can maybe go, oh my gosh, I felt like that. You know what? This is what helped me. Or I think you should speak to so-and-so. Is so important. It's being okay with being vulnerable. And these feelings and emotions are your vulnerable self. And that is actually your strength. Have the courage. Treat yourself with that love. And you deserve nothing less than being yourself. And that is what I shall say. And you can get hold of me on pretty much, I'm always on LinkedIn, butterflying around different time zones.
All hours of the night. She's up all night.
Yes.
Till 4 a.m.
I think I'm somewhere in between Pacific Standard Time and Eastern. And GMT doesn't even get a friggin' look in, to be honest. I'm just like,
Do you sleep?
I do sleep. Yeah, people always ask me this. I only need about 5 hours, genuinely. I've got it boiled out. I think it's my med training. Anyway, you can find me on LinkedIn, and please connect with me if you haven't. I am also the host of Live with the Glitter Practitioner, which is every Monday at 8 p.m. GMT, which is 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, produced by the wonderful Russ Hedge. I was going to mess around, but I won't today. And he also sponsors my show.
Why stop now?
Yeah, I don't know. I should have done, really. And every other Tuesday, I do another show with my Supernova Soul sister, Diana Londonio. Supernova Soul Sisters, Physicians in Motion. And how else can you get hold of me? YouTube. You'll find me on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook, all under The Glitter Practitioner.
Or just send me a message. I can chase her down. All right, Cindy.
Yeah, that basically.
Cindy, man, I'm so glad you were able to come today. I really appreciate you. And in our long face-to-face friendship of an hour and a half now, seems like I was talking to Aaron. It seems like we've known each other for so long. I mean, I know we were connected and we talked back and forth on comments, but so great to actually talk to you face to face. And I love the fact you were able to come today. So take it away. Finish it up for us here.
All right. Thank you so much. So I want to boil something down to everyone they haven't heard tonight. And this little tidbit, it goes into the authenticity. However, I want to give you a little kind of thought to think about. Now, you see me all over the place. I sing and I dance and I'm silly and I do tongue out faces and whatever. I connect to my inner child, and I don't just do that like alone by myself. Okay. I connect that way, and I'm just full force who I am. And I'm going to attract the people that want me in their life and who need me and who relate to me and resonate with me. And those are the people I want in my life. And I'm not going to attract everyone. And you know what I learned? It's absolutely okay, because not everyone is for me either. So it's a double thing to learn that it doesn't really matter. You're not here to please the world. You are here for yourself first. And then what you do will affect humanity as well. So I just wanted to give you I'm really big about connecting to just having fun, being silly, being weird, being you. That is where the joy is. If I had to give you one tip in life, there is joy, and more joy in being yourself, being your authentic self. You will attract the right people into your circle. So that I could go on and on with a million other tips, but I'm just going to go with that. And my book is on Amazon if you'd like it. I also have a website, cindycone.com, CINDI, COHN.com. And I'm always on LinkedIn. Every single day, I'm here to bring you joy. I'm here to inspire you, empower you, uplift you. And you know what else? Be bold. I would say another word, but I'm going to go with bold. Okay.
Be badass. Just be badass. That's what I
Or
think.
that. Or both.
Something like that. But just grab life. Be bold. Your life, I mean, the clock is ticking. It's not going backwards. Okay. So use it to your advantage. Be bold. Be your authentic self. Spread joy and just live a good life. That's it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Woo! So Aaron, you get to wrap it up today, but I just have this whole, I don't know if you guys know this song we sang in church years ago. I have the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Whoop. So yes, I love that song.
I don't
and
know
that's
it. Oh, listen, Dave.
that's all going through my head right now. Okay. We
I
got
thought
the
you were
joy.
going
All
to
right.
say, this little light of mine.
That I
There you
can
go.
sing.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Yeah, I thought you were going to
Light
say
of
that one.
mine.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna let it shine.
I love
Whoop,
that.
whoop, whoop.
Sorry. Go on,
You
Aaron.
left me hanging, yo.
Oh, Aaron, keep going, man. That's awesome. You got it. It's all yours.
Oh, you know what? The big key here for me is be genuine to yourself. Just be genuine. Know it. Again, start to discover yourself, figure what you can own, what you can't own, what you can do, what you can't do, and be fair and reasonable to yourself. Big shout out to my brother Donald Baker. We were talking about this not too long ago. Treat yourself like you'd be treating your grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exactly it, right? Give yourself that moment, be yourself, be genuine, and recognize that moment when, you know what, I'm not there. I need to reach out.
Yeah.
And know that there's no shame in that reaching out.
Yeah.
We're in a new era. We're in a new time. It's time to start pressing this forward that, you know what, reaching out is okay to do. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to have these moments of vulnerability with the right people in your circle. So do it.
Yeah.
And save yourself a lot of downward spiral.
Yeah, for sure.
You can find me.
There you go. I was
didn't
going to say,
this
keep
time,
going.
right? I've been learning. You can find me here. The majority of the time I'm here on LinkedIn. I'm also on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. That's where I do all my mental health breaks. And my door is open to everyone. If you find that you're in that moment and you feel that you cannot talk to anybody in your circle, then my door is always open. You can give me a message. I don't judge. I'm just here to support because, you know, I don't want to ever see people go through the same path that I had to go through. It was something I'd like other people to avoid.
Well, and you know what's
Huge
amazing
heart.
about you, Aaron, and about everybody who has dealt with something is you're able to speak to those people that are going to be going through or are going through things you went through. And that boils back down to, you know, choosing the people we hang out with. A lot of times it's so important. Our environment is so important, but a lot of times choosing to reach out and bless those people that need that encouragement, that need someone to say. I was talking, actually a good example today in person. I'm at a networking event. I'm working with a nonprofit down south of where I live. And one of the new employees that I'm working with and helping, she's a resource development person. She's stressing herself out. She's overwhelmed. And I was telling her today, take a deep breath, relax. You're doing a great job. You're doing great. You should not. She was there till 7:30, 8 o'clock last night. I said, you need to stop that. Go home to your husband, go home to your kids, relax. Don't stay there till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. They love you. You're doing great. You don't need to prove anything. And you don't need to do things that just because other people said. Do your job, take care of yourself. And people need that sometimes. And we all have to be able to take that moment. And when we've gone through stuff, right, then it's good to say, hey, I've been through this. I've seen this. And I don't want you to have to deal with that. And so, yeah, I mean, we could go on for another hour, you guys. This is an awesome group. Great topic.
Part 2.
And yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Part 2.
Part 2. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Put
I,
two in the chat if you want part 2.
Yes, they will. And we'll do it. They don't even have to tell me that. We'll do it anyway.
We
Okay.
just created part 2 for us.
I want I want to thank you all so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you.
We are winding up our time here. I'm trying to be respectful of your time, and people have a certain attention span, so we've gone to the edge of their attention span. So we're gonna say goodbye to everybody. But listen, take to heart what these amazing people said and connect with all of them. Their connection information is in the comments. It's clickable. It's in the show notes. It's clickable. Even Cindy, who came in at the last minute, I put her information, and she did too, in the comments, so you can get to her. So please connect with them, and you're going to be better for it. You're going to be better for it. So today we're going to do something I don't normally do, everybody, and that is we're going to all say goodbye together, and the credits are going to roll. So everybody, don't forget Russ Reels Live, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be here next Thursday. Until then, have a great day and a great life. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody, wave.